Hi guys, I'm back with another Too Many Cards video series with Emily Leapart and me. Today we're using stamps and dies and stencils from LDRS Creative, and I love them all. We are using the Boardwalk Mice stamps and dies, On the Move landscape stamps and die, A Day in the Park stamps and dies, Miss You die, and the Rainy Day stencil. Whew! Let's do it! I started, of course, by stamping all of my images. I'm using Versa Fine Jet Black ink. Is that what it's called? You know, the black Versa Fine. Onyx Black, that's what it is. I am stamping my images for the scenes I want to create for both my cards. I started with the Day in the Park. And then I did the big boardwalk from Boardwalk Mice. And then I saw the clouds and I was like, oh, well, both my cards must have clouds. So I stamped, I don't know, 35 clouds. Not really, but I stamped a lot of clouds. And no, I do not use them all. But I had good intentions. I do use clouds on both my cards. But there was just so many goodies that we're working with today that I just switched it up. Otherwise, I would have used all of them. Okay, so let's start coloring. Woo! Let's do it. I am, of course, using Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I spritz some water onto my craft mat, like always, and use an empty water brush, get the bristles damp, and then dab it off onto a piece of paper towel I have on the side. I also, you'll see, I also wipe the tip of the markers and water brush on my finger, on my left hand. I don't know how I started doing that or why I started doing that, but if a color, when I'm blending two colors together, if they get very, if the lighter color gets saturated too much by the darker color, I just quick wipe it off on my finger. So usually the middle finger on my left hand is a little palette of all the colors I've colored with in that section. You'll see it. I mean, I go, you may have noticed I'm going super speed because there's 150 images to color. But yes, I do. My middle finger, as it's clean here, it will not be at the end. Oh boy. So I'm not going to color, I am saving you. I'm not going to color all the trees and all the clouds on camera. I do color one tree and one cloud, and then the rest I color the same exact way. I just, like I said, this video would be a very, very long video if it was not done in hyperspace and a little bit of cutting. I'm just saving you, people. You're welcome. It's not that exciting. Okay, let's get back to it, shall we? I chose this cute little dog walker because I knew I wanted to use the stay positive with a paw phrase for this card because I'm needing some positivity in my life. I think we all could use some, but I am especially. And I just thought it was adorable, so I knew I wanted to use the dog walker and that cute little dog looking at them, which you'll see when I make it. Whew, all right, here we are, super speed, coloring the mice. I love these mice, guys. They're so little. Like, I use two colors and a little bit of water to blend out these images, but honestly, you do not have to do that. They are so tiny, you could just do one wash of color and they would look just as adorable. I just can't stop myself. But I love them. I even added a little bit of blush to their tiny cheeks. And as I was coloring them, I thought, oh yeah, I better zoom in since these images are smaller than my fingernail. Let's see if I remember to zoom out. Stay tuned. You may be thinking to yourself, why are you coloring that building red? Sam, that's odd. There's no red buildings. And then as I continue to color and start to color the next building in orange, you will know, oh yes, I forgot I'm watching a Sam video. There has to be a rainbow. So yes, these buildings will all be colored in rainbow style. And guess what? I love this card. I love the rainbow, how it turns out. Spoiler alert, it's a fun one. You may have noticed when I colored the red building, I used a dark brown to shade it. The zigs are tricky. If I used a darker red to add the shading, it would have just turned more pink. And I did want it to be a little bit reddish. Now this is still a little bit pinky. I could have made it more red. But I wanted to do a little bit of shading. So I used a dark brown and then pulled that color out, just a little bit of dark brown, and then pulled that color out with the red and then spread it out with my damp water brush. And that's how I got the shading for the red. That's where the brown came in. Oh boy. At this point I was like, what color am I going to color those Ferris wheel seats? And so I didn't. I'm like, I'll get back to that in a minute. I had already used purple people. I wasn't sure what to do. I just said purple people, which makes me think of purple people eaters. Oh gosh, I'm in a mood today, guys, apparently. I colored the hot air balloon and I love it. Again, I'm using brown to shade my yellow. Brown, people. Who knew? Best color you can have in your arsenal. Yeah. Okay, so then I decided, let's just do it, people. More rainbow for the Ferris wheel seats. What am I thinking? Why was it even a question, right? And I love it. I love how it turned out. And it looks really good. I did go in and add a very light blue to all the windows and gray, a light gray to like the trim and roof and stuff, just because I wanted the rainbow to pop. So all the other colors are secondary. And I'm so sorry I'm coloring off screen. I told you guys, I told you it was going to happen. I wasn't going to remember to zoom out. Yeah, and that's the coloring. The end. The video's over. Just kidding. Psych. And guess what? More coloring! I forgot as I was making the scene about these on the move stamps, and I needed them. Hello, how could I not use them? They're perfect. So I'm just using a bunch of greens. I used a very dark green, like a springy green, and then actually a yellow to make my landscape area. And you can see the yellow pulls it down the color, and then I use my water brush to do it. See? Oh, guys, see my middle finger? See? Yep. It's got all the colors on it. It's a nice little palette. The bushes of this landscape, I'm coloring the same minty greens as the treetops that I had already colored. And I'm just going to repeat those same colors for the hilly landscape as well. My markers are dry. I need to replace them, but I haven't. So I had to struggle a little bit, but I actually like how it turns out. Okay, so this is what my first scene is going to look like. I put it all out on paper. Well, not on paper. I put it all out on my craft mat just to see how it would look. Now we're going to make the sky. I am just using Distress inks in Blueprint Sketch, Mermaid Lagoon, and Peacock Feathers. I'm smushing it on my craft mat, spritzing with water, and then pressing the paper down on top. And then I set it aside to dry and do that about 15 more times. Each time I do it, I wait for it to dry completely and then spritz, spritz, smush, smush, let it dry, repeat. I'm also spritzing and using one color at a time on a piece of old packaging and then pressing it down on the background to add, a little bit more saturation in certain areas. That's how I created the sky. Then, oh, it's going so fast. And then I used white embossing paste and the cloud stencil to add just a few textured clouds to my card. I did not wait for that to dry because by this point I was like, let's get a move on, people. I want to finish this card. So the clouds are still a little wet. I do not recommend this. Listen, it's the things we do, okay? I am still creating my scene. The clouds are still wet. I'm just trying to be careful. I layered the trees so that they're all at different levels and popped up the dog walker and the little dog on the bench watching his friend. And then I'm going to also add the sentiment, I believe. I had a little struggle. Yeah, okay, I'm going to add the sentiment. Okay, so there it is. And I put little blocks on there to help them dry. And that's what my card's going to look like for my next one. I die cut out the miss you letters 4 times for each letter. And so now I'm just going through in hyperspeed, gluing all the letters on top of each other to make them like a thick die cut. It takes a long time, but not that long. And these letters are really easy to line up and stack on top of each other. They're not too delicate, but they're still really pretty. I really highly recommend this die. I really like it. And I just thought it would be so fun with the juxtaposition of the really large Miss You and the really teeny tiny mice. I really liked that. So yeah, that's how I did that. My desk is a mess, guys. I'm sorry. Can you tell? Can you tell? All right. So here's all my scene on an actual card base. And now I'm just, attaching everything. I am gluing the clouds, and then the hot air balloon is popped up on foam tape, and each tiny little mouse that I add is also popped up on foam tape. And I really like that light gray fog cardstock because it makes the rainbow pop, don't you think? I think so. I think so. So then I'm just stacking the Miss You on top with my acrylic blocks to hold it down in place. And now I'm popping up those tiny little mice. And then I think I'm going to add glitter. I am going to add glitter. Let's do it. Glitter these clouds up. And I'm done. This is my card. All dry, guys. It's all dry. Every part of it. I added some washi to the sides, and then my other card, see the glitter on the clouds. I really love how this turned out. Be sure to check out Emily's cards on the link below and comment on both our videos for a chance to win a $30 gift certificate to LDRS. Thanks again. Have a good day. Bye.